Yeah, let's jump into it though. First game of this best of 5 series, we have in Dry Arabia playing as the English. It's Kaiser Johan for blue. Going for a 2-farm opener. In the yellow, playing as the Delhi Sultanate, it is Scatterbrained. Going with the mill first instead of the mosque first. Oh, that's to get wheelbarrow early! Oh man.
Ah.
There you go, clicked it. Crisis averted, fellas. Crisis averted.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been a tough spot already. I mean, when I looked at the draft, I was like, oh, we're in for a treat. It's English against Delhi.
Yeah.
I mean, what's not to love, right? So.
Why is the farm complete without a worker on it? It's crazy. For Kaiser Johan. Let's see the scouting though. No, before that, what do you think of the matchup and the map?
Well, I mean, the matchup I think is classic. Still, I would say slightly Delhi favored, although I think that has shifted a little bit. And I mean, of course, it heavily depends on, is English going for the Abbey of Kings with the king and maybe focus more focused on horsemen? Is Delhi going for the Dome of the Faith instead of the Tower of Victory? So I mean, those things like heavily impact the matchup, of course. In general, I like Delhi in this matchup, although English definitely not in a terrible spot. Very open map. The sacred sites also very open, so you cannot really wall them in together, with like wood lines or natural walls, cliffs and whatever. And so it's a little bit more difficult, I feel like, to defend the sacred sites on this map. I mean, Dry Arabia, a very balanced map, and so I think it's a fair matchup. I would put it this way, like with considering the map and all, it's a very fair matchup. Both players can win, and it's gonna be really interesting to see what we're having in store for us here. So Abbey of Kings coming up, currently with 2 villagers, so not super heavy going on that, not a very fast feudal play right now. But yeah, so that's the one thing. So Abbey of Kings coming up, Dome of the Faith on the other side, so that's really gonna be interesting. So no enhanced spearmen against the king, no enhanced archers. So yeah, interesting.
They're gonna have a lot of scholars out there, so that's gonna be very interesting for sure. What is interesting about Dome of the Faith plays as well is that they have a very good timing once they hit Castle Age. Very quickly grab all of the relics. That decision to get into Castle Age is always a very interesting one, because Delhi, of course, very powerful in Feudal Age, but their Castle Age, they can achieve some pretty good timings, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially so we're having 3 sacred sites here on this map. Delhi with the Dome of the Faith, so reduced scholar cost, 65 gold per scholar, and so that's gonna be, if he uses them right, that can mean a lot of extra value for his military, and then go for the gold income as well once he takes the sacred sites. And so I kind of expect like a late feudal or early castle age gameplay with a lot of scholars to enhance the army. So that would be my guess for now.
Yeah, so lumber camp stable. Yeah, Scatterbrained not going. No, he is going heavy on wood. Stable. I expect to see a blacksmith very soon. On the other side, we don't even have the Abbey of Kings. It just got built. And stable as well. Kaiser Johan wants to contest this. Is not doing the 2TC fast age up that English is somewhat known for these days. Oh, going back stable. It's gonna be Kaiser Johan putting on the pressure.
Yeah, which is, I think, sort of expected with the Abbey of Kings. So, I mean, if you would have went for the Council Hall, you usually see players being a little bit more defensive, massing up a few longbows first before marching into the enemy base. Especially if you're afraid to run into a couple of Ghazi raiders. But with the Abbey of Kings, with the king on your side, you can feel very comfortable to move in with a couple of horsemen. And then just try to find some damage, especially because of the kingly presence that will heal your horsemen as long as you survive the fight.
Healing by 2 every second. That's not a bad amount of healing.
No, I mean, if you think about it, that's better than a Kurultai, for example. And so that you can then go toe-to-toe with a couple of Ghazi raiders, even if there's some scholars behind it. I mean, yeah, granted, it's out of combat healing, so that's one thing you definitely have to be mindful of. But yeah, like I said, as long as you win the fight and you can retreat, and the horsemen are, you know, super fast, so they should be able to retreat. Then you can just go back to your abbey and heal up, either next to the abbey or next to your king. And so that's some very, very nice play. And we do have a couple of Ghazi raiders already out here, and a couple of scholars, as I mentioned. So like 4 and 1 in queue, so 5 scholars total. And I believe they're moving out on the map now to get the sacred sites. So 7 minutes into the game, 2 scholars at least walking over to the middle and the southern sacred site already.
Oh my god, one of the scholars almost got made.
And then we have a little bit of a fight here from the king getting a villager down here on the gold. So Delhi being pressured on the gold a little bit, which doesn't really bother them too much because they don't need the gold for upgrades. They don't need it for unit production. But still, I mean, damage done is damage done.
As done is damage done, I'm with you 100%. Also, after they get the sacred sites, that's how they get their gold, right? So much gold that they get from the sacred sites that they don't really need villagers working on gold, at least until they age up.
Right, yeah, and then you might want to need it, or then you might need it to get some war elephants out there on the field, some lancers possibly, men-at-arms, crossbows, you know, whatever like depends on the situation what Kaiser Johan is going to go for, if he's going into some heavy men-at-arm play, or if he's going to continue his spearman, horseman, or in Castle Age spearman lancer combination here. Alright, so two sacred sites being captured, 1 already being decaptured, but Scatterbrained could go for the 3rd one on the top side. That is currently uncontested, so he could get that. But he's still 1 sacred site at the moment, so that's fine for now for him.
Scatterbrained definitely thinking about the next stage of the game here. You don't want to just keep amassing Ghazi raiders. That's what he's doing. He's transitioning now into a more ranged unit comp. So Ghazi raiders and archers definitely okay against this comp. Like the spears need to be dealt with.
Yeah, he definitely needs the archers to deal with the spears, and then he still has the Ghazi raiders to contest the horsemen, which they do fine against them, and then he also has a raiding unit, a fast unit, able to move around the opponent if needed, trying to catch up to the king even if he needs to, and since the king is a heavy melee cavalry unit, or heavy cavalry unit, melee doesn't matter in this case. That also means that the Ghazi Raiders do bonus damage against him. So the king is, yeah, very susceptible against Ghazi attacks.
Yeah, king definitely a good unit, but not a great one. Not in this scenario. Scatterbrained almost has pro scouts. Would you be cheeky and produce a couple of scouts here just to get deer?
Oh yeah, I mean that's definitely something that has been done for a while now with Delhi, is because at some point you will get it, you will get the pro scouts, and then you might as well take the deer, which, I mean, one, you get it, and two, the opponent doesn't get it, so it's a win-win basically. So yeah, I definitely expect him at some point to do that. I mean, he will not, you know, heavily focus on that, especially because he only has one scout, so maybe he will not even do it, but I would not be surprised if he will do that. And then to your earlier point with the king being a fine but not necessarily a great unit, I wonder if they kind of try to outplay each other. So the king and the horseman, the combination here would have been really great against the Tower Victory and maybe more archer focused comp of Scatterbrained. But since Scatterbrained probably anticipated that, he did not go for the Tower Victory, but instead for the Dome of the Faith. And then more on Ghazi, and then just having the archers as a secondary unit just to deal with the spearmen.
Yeah, very interesting. We just saw Scatterbrained and Kaiser Johan do a little bit of a tango here, a little bit of a dance. With a scholar, Kaiser Johan was patrolling the path between the base of Scatterbrained and the North Sacred Site. But then Kaiser Johan pulled to try and contest, but didn't really go his way. Ooh, these villagers on the food might be in trouble. Nah, they garrison.
Yeah, they realized that they're not welcome there on the berry patch. So Kaiser Johan trying to move around the base to the backside. He will be able to see there's no stone being taken, so not a big surprise, but not a second TC for Scatterbrained. Also no castle into an immediate keep drop. So actually, yeah, as I was looking at the resources, so Scatterbrained does have the resources for Castle Age, and he's going up with the House of Learning.
Yeah, let's learn, baby. We have all those scholars for something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, he doesn't have a lot of scholars. They keep dying to...
yeah, they keep dying. That's a
horseman.
little bit unfortunate. Yeah, but as you're saying that, he just put 3 in queue. So as a preparation for the House of Learning, he will have 3 more scholars, and that should help him to quickly get those Castle Age upgrades in. I mean, you know, rather quickly. Delhi takes their sweet time for them. Almost 4 minutes for honed blades. But yeah, so he put Kaiser Johan in a tough spot here with the timing. So Kaiser Johan knows he has a couple of minutes to strike before the upgrades tick in. But if he doesn't manage to do that, Delhi will be in a favorable position, and he, in return, went up with the King's Palace.
Yeah, the King's Palace.
Which is a fine choice, I think. Just to be able to, I mean, he didn't go for a second TC, which you often see against other civs, but it would have been a bad choice against Delhi for obvious reasons. And so the King's Palace, like a late second TC sort of, is a fine choice for sure. To boost his eco, help him to maybe get to Imperial Age faster if he needs to, but at least to be able to close the gap unit-wise, because if you look at the army value, it's almost 1-to-1, but Scatterbrained has a way more units currently, and so yeah, Kaiser Johan needs to be careful about that. A little bit of a raid here on the right side, maybe getting a villager kill here. Nice around by the by the villagers. So that's
Pass
a
around
dead
by the
horse
probes.
then.
Oh, sorry.
And a little dance here before he falls down and dies. You'll have to see it.
Okay, so to explain to newer players how Delhi works, because I think they are definitely one of the more complicated civs. They don't need gold for upgrades, but they have the same economy, so they get their upgrades for free, but they take longer. So they're usually timings that where you are a bit vulnerable, or you don't have those upgrades. But once you get those upgrades, you have the same economy as if you didn't have them, but now you have the upgrades, and that's what can make Delhi really, really powerful.
Yeah, that's sort of their eco bonus, so they don't have to put all the villagers on gold. So usually with other civs at this point, you probably would be at 10 or 15 villagers on gold. You can see English is just a couple seconds ago he was on gold with 25 villagers. And so that's a lot of villagers that you don't need to put on gold and instead can put on wood or food, which then bolsters your economy and you can produce more units than a lot of other civs can do, and that's why they feel so oppressive and strong in the feudal age. They fall off a little bit later on in Castle Age and Imperial Age, just because it takes so long for the upgrades to kick in. And then also they need a lot of supply for the scholars, and so that's why they can feel a little bit weaker later on, but in feudal age they're really, really strong.
Yeah, 100% one of the stronger civs in feudal age. And if you're like these guys and you really understand Delhi really well, you can have games like this where it becomes really a chess match because neither player wants to give up an advantage. However, Kaiser Johan just got 6 workers. Oh, good surround by Scatterbrained.
Yeah, he was able to kill a couple villagers here and there, get some villager kills on the berry patch. But yeah, as you mentioned, the chess play between those two players. This is like the first major fight of the match, basically. 17 minutes into the game, because neither player wanted to commit heavily into a fight in feudal age that, if they would lose it, they would basically lose the game in return. A couple more villagers here in danger. 1, 2 more kills. So Scatterbrained falling behind, so a little bit of villager kills here, but then also being on 1 TC compared to the 2 TC English play with the King's Palace. And so that again puts Delhi, Scatterbrained, into pressure, and he has a timing where he can still deal damage. He still has a lot more army value. He still has almost twice as many units. But he needs to find the eco damage soon, because otherwise the English eco will just run away and he will have no way of catching up.
Yeah, and with improved farms. At the time where farm transitions happened to everyone, this is a scary English economy. On the other hand, though, Scatterbrained is moving in with Archer, Crossbowmen, and Ghazi Raiders. And the upgrades have just kicked in, so these are all veteran units. They don't really have blacksmith upgrades, because I think, yeah, the blacksmith, no, it is working. But he was jumbling the upgrades around. Oh, so Kaiser Johan in a little bit of trouble here. Oh, that's impressive to see. Oh, we're getting rams!
There they are. There they are.
Oh, and there's a Dumbo as well. A war elephant.
Yeah, there's the war elephant, another one in queue. So a nice meaty front line, kind of like a living ram if you want. Doing a lot of damage against stone walls even, but in general buildings.
Also,
so a nice front line.
They also do a lot of damage to cavalry.
Oh yeah, they do, definitely.
Which is really
nice.
Overall,
I feel like, except crossbows, there's not really a great way to deal with the war elephants, because no matter what you put against them, whether it's cavalry, it's spearmen, it just hurts you. You lose so many units by attacking this one beast, and it's hard to deal with that.
Ooh,
But
Kaiser
other than
Johan
that-
getting knights in the way of the reinforcements. Ooh, this is not gonna end well with the war elephant coming in. There's a big fight
Yeah.
though. Ooh, and
Yeah, a lot of spearmen in the front, trying to get on the Ghazis, getting a couple ones. Knights circling in from the back, very nicely done here by Kaiser Johan. Abbey of Kings getting down, so that's at least the healing factor being removed. The out of combat healing factor, and Delhi army still standing strong here. He lost most of his front line, but then again, there's also still 10 Ghazi raiders and a couple of knights lancers as well, and his crossbow mass is still standing there. So if he can get on the crossbows from English, interestingly enough, there's hardly any longbows here at play.
yeah, and longbows can be pretty good against crossbowmen, but the Kaiser Johan figured that crossbowmen against the Dumbos and against lancers or men-at-arms would have been a better play, and the state of the game agrees with him, I think. He's held this one beautifully, only lost the Abbey of Kings.
Yeah, it wasn't a terrible fight for Kaiser Johan, as Death does for sure. Scatterbrained being able to kill a couple villages here, still way behind in equal numbers just because of the 2 DCs, so if that's all he can get for now, it's gonna be tough for him, because time right now is not in his favor, especially because the sacred site counter has completely switched. So Kaiser Johan taking the 3rd one right now, and now he's at 3 sacred sites. So English having the sacred site control and not Delhi is something that you do not want. I mean, I can only speak from my own experience, but I've never won a Delhi game against English if I didn't have the sacred sites. So we're gonna see if he can turn the table here. He's getting one of the sacred sites, moving out to the other. I think it's about time that he could actually move into keeps and then trying to pump out villagers, just to make up for his lacking eco right now.
Yeah, what I don't particularly like about what Scatterbrained is doing is that he was floating a lot of resources. And he might not have enough production buildings to really sustain this. He is getting stone. Oh, that's gold. That's not stone, sorry. So he's getting gold. He's trying to retake the sacred sites. I don't think he's going to be able to. He needs to remass. Scatterbrained needs to remass, and he might want to re-eco a little bit. Knights going in for raids, that's going to be tough to deal with.
Yeah, and it's just so much idle time as well that this causes, and then he has to do a farm transition in the back, which is just a ton of wood that he needs to spend, which he doesn't really have. He doesn't have a ton of production buildings as well. I mean, he has, let's switch back over to him. He has like 3 archery ranges and 2 stables. That's it. Compared to English, who has 4 barracks, 4 stables, and 4 archery ranges. So not a lot of military production here, and then also I don't think that the Ghazi Raiders are good anymore in his position.
Yeah, and considering the 40 crossbowmen, I don't mind the Ghazi Raiders, but come on, someone has to make some siege here.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point. That the Ghazi Raiders don't get the bonus damage from the crossbows, but they do deal bonus damage against crossbows. So yeah, I guess the Ghazi Raiders in this situation are not a bad choice. But I agree. I would love to see some siege here. But we'll probably see it relatively soon. Where the Berkshire getting dropped on the top sacred side. While Delhi is also building a keep next to it. Delhi is not aware of it, can't see it. English is seeing the keep as well, and will not get it up faster, but that doesn't matter. The keep alone is not really dangerous. It will not prevent the Berkshire Palace. And now the Berkshire Palace came up, and already firing away with its insanely ridiculous range. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
let's just fire from the other side of the map.
Yeah, I honestly, I have no issue with any landmark except for the Berkshire Palace. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, so that's a lot of villager kills just from the Berkshire already. And then again, the keep. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough time to hold that position, and then getting the gold from this gold vein. I don't know if Delhi really needs it, but we're having a big fight in the middle here of the English base for now. Underneath the TC, so that's definitely not fun for Delhi. The King's Palace also firing away on the crossbows, so a lot of, I don't know, I am not sure if you want to dive the English base like that if you're not having the superior numbers, which he still has somehow. But I don't see where exactly those units are. It doesn't look like it though.
Well, some of them are in the middle fighting a couple of knights.
Yeah, but
staying under everything. Scatterbrained. But Scatterbrained is in the heart of the eco with 11 crossbows. This is not terrible.
Yeah. No.
Oh, it's about to drop a keep.
That's gonna be a really nice keep drop. If you can manage to drop that keep in this position, that might, or that will help him to win the game. But the crossbows are way in the back of the enemy base, and they're not able to get into the eco. Actually, they're just getting rid of the knight, and then they're having to deal with the crossbows from English, which is a losing fight for them, just looking from the numbers wise.
Yeah, but we have 24 workers building that keep, and the army is stuck in the back of the base, and they are walking on foot. No, there's a defensive keep from English.
Yeah, the thing is, like, Kaiser Johan just dropped that keep a couple seconds ago, and so the 24 workers who were trying to build the keep, they just got there when the keep already was there, and that's why the keep needs to be cancelled. He's trying to rebuild it again at the same spot. I'm not sure why he would want to do that.
This keep will go up though, but at what cost? Scatterbrained is losing workers.
And then again, the English keep already going for producing a bombard. So we're having a bombard now here, firing away at the keep that is still under construction, now being finished.
No, this is how Scatterbrained loses the game. He's gonna dive the bombard. He's gonna lose all of his Ghazis. No, he killed the bombard. Oh, and he's gonna try to leave. Oh, what a play. The taxes are high here, and Scatterbrained needs to keep production going.
Yeah, the taxes are definitely high on the Delhi side, but the thing is also, so he's fighting against English in Imperial Age, with the enclosures, so English getting the free gold from the farms. He's having a great farm transition by now, a lot of villagers there on farms, so a lot of food and gold income. His defensive structures are in place, the keep is there, he's having another bombard trying to get down the keep, and Scatterbrained, if you look at the army value, the numbers have turned. So a couple minutes ago he was still having like 50% more army value, but now it's shifted and he is down 20% compared to the English army, which, I mean, we're talking about elite men-at-arms from English with, I believe he has all the upgrades already, right? Let's see. No, not
no, he's missing one melee armor.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, it's looking good for him.
Oh, looking painful for Scatterbrained. That imp transition from Kaiser Johan almost cost him the game, but ends up winning him the game in the end. That's game number 1.
Yeah,
Kaiser
it's
Johan.
just such a small timing window that you have to punish them once they age up. But if you don't manage to punish them for it, then they run away, and then it's there's hardly any comeback for you.
Look at the military. Scatterbrained in the lead for the whole game. Here in the end, Kaiser Johan just spikes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, incredibly well played by him. Like with the Imperial Age timing. I don't think the positioning of the Berkshire was the greatest, but then again, it was on the sacred side, so that's definitely worth it to prevent the sacred side going over to Delhi. And it also covered at least 1 goal, so that was very nice. And yeah, again, like English Imperial, like you gotta love it. It's so let's see. I'm in the game, so
Yeah,
currently at 3
3, 4,
seconds.
5 seconds. Let's go.
All
So
right.
in the color cyan, I think it's the Japanese Kaozan. It is Kaiser Johan. And playing as a Sushi Legacy, it is Scatterbrained. And we already have history of Kaozan being an absolutely goated map for Sushi's Legacy. Because of this, and now there are 2 woodlines here. It's gonna be the best meditation gardens of all time.
Ooh. Yeah, 2
Oh, with the
wood lines, and then
gold!
also the stone as well, or the gold if you want to get to that as well. Or on the right side, you can have the gold, the 2 wood lines plus the berries. By the way, we also have history of Jushi's legacy against Japanese on a hybrid map with thickets.
That's correct.
And
Tickets.
so we do. So it's kind of like a rivalry going on here between this Jushi's legacy and Japanese. Let's see who's gonna come out on top. I actually forgot who won the game, so even though I saw it in the screen, I was like, I didn't look at it, so I'm glad about that. Because it keeps things interesting here. I don't know who's gonna win this.
Yeah, I don't know who's gonna win this either. I just saw that they played the second game and booted it up. So yeah, let's see the scouting. Oh, that is. Yeah, Scatterbrained to going to the other side of the map and coming back. Kaiser Johan. I think to scout to the back of the base. Kaiser Johan might run away with a lot of sheep here.
Yeah, also probably wanna scout for possible places where Scatterbrain could put the meditation gardens, just to have a possible angle of attack. So
Yeah,
we went all
because
the
it's
way
gonna
around
go anywhere
here.
else other than the middle.
What? Well, the thing is, like, my issue with the middle always is you put it right in front of where the units are gonna traverse, and so if you're losing it, you're never getting it back. But I mean, yeah, as you already alluded, like the meditation garden is coming up in the middle, dead center here between 3 berry patches, getting a little bit of wood as
And the
well, and the
gold.
gold, so you could hardly ask for a better spot. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Kawazan is not broken at all.
No, it's perfectly balanced as all things should be.
We are getting more Narutos. Getting the Kyoka Township.
Yeah, the typical hybrid and water map landmark, the Coca Township for sure. But yeah, the thing is, so it doesn't help against the meditation cards. It doesn't really sabotage the meditation gardens in any way. And as
Well,
long
gets it on
as
fire.
yeah, okay, eventually it will burn it down, but I mean it's 5,000 health, and so that would take quite a while. Neither player so far going on water, so just going for a regular Dark Age play into feudal and then transitioning into going on water, going for the docks. We do have an archery range coming up here right next to the meditation garden, so Scatterbrained, I think it's a good strategic decision to put the archery range there and to throw out some Shuganu already. The downside to that is if there were no Shuganu, then the Shinobi could actually sabotage the archery range as well and prevent that from being effective at all. So a little bit of a risky play again, but there's the Shuganu already, so that should be safe for the time being.
And proxies like these are always dangerous, because if you lose the proxy, everything you built in it is taken for free by your opponent, so
yeah,
you can lose a major chunk of your production that way. Of course, proxies in Age of Empires, not really something players like to do all the time. Oh my! Scatterbrained getting that dock up, using the Juganus to kill a villager. Oh, using the boar!
Very nicely done, just hitting the boar one time to get the final kill on the villager. So in theory, Scatterbrained hasn't killed the villager yet. It was actually the boar.
Yeah, but the game says he did, so
Yeah,
I can see who the wildlife is working for.
Yeah, and then the wolf also getting in on the action here as well. And so 3 Shinobi, Shuganu rather, circling around, trying to find some eco damage. There's no villagers on gold right now for Kaiser Johan, so that's at least... his villagers should be safe. Also, Shuganu having a slightly shorter range than regular archers. So he will not be able to dive brainlessly into the enemy base. But nicely done here with preventing the dog from coming up, getting a villager kill as well, and then just securing this one pawn, going for a second dog on the other pawn as well. So if Kaiser Johan doesn't find a good way to deal with that, I kind of have an idea who might win the game.
Yeah, ooh, there's another villager kill.
So 2 more villager kills. There's the Yumi Ashigaru, so the cheaper Japanese archers and a horseman. So in general, a good combination to deal with the early Chinese pressure with Shuganu and possibly also spearmen. But then there's also the archer ship already. So the left side pond gotta be safe probably. The dog is getting spotted, and before the archer ship can do anything, that's it for Kaiser Johan, and he taps out.
Wow, yeah, talk about a short game. Just I'm copying this build from Scatterbrained.
What? You know, it was the second game that I watched today where Justice Legacy played against Japanese on water and still won the game. So, I wonder if there's a meta shift and Japanese is not as strong on water anymore as they used to be.
That or that meditation card is absolutely out of this mind ridiculous.
Or that, yeah. I mean, you just have to consider everything, you know. It could also be the meta. You never know. You never know. So.
Right, we're hopping into game. Kaiser Johan in the orange is the Abbasid Dynasty. Against Scatterbrained in the yellow, playing as China. Not going for the Imperial official first. That is definitely interesting. This is not sushi.
Yeah, that's right. They don't start with that.
Yeah. So, what do you think of this matchup and the map?
Well, okay. There's definitely a lot of open space at first around the base, so Abbasid can, you know, do their SimCity builder as they please. So that's very nice. Gold in the base, stone also relatively safe on the left side of the base. He's going for berries first, which of course is a good choice with Abbasid. So I think Abbasid is fine on this matchup, on this map. But China kind of the same, with a lot of open space to work with, putting down their buildings, their granaries, their farm transition in the back. It's all very nice and safe. Stone is a little bit forward, but yeah, that also should be fine. I don't really know who I would favor in this matchup, actually. I mean, both can be aggressive civs, but they can also boom hard. And so it's... I don't want to say it's a coin flip, but I don't really have a definite favorite.
Yeah, I agree with you that this is going to be a nail-biter of a game. This one I expect will take less longer than the last game. Just a hunch I have. Alright, and we have... Oh, that was just the House of Wisdom building. Everything connected under the House of Wisdom influence. Perfect. This is, what? 5 buildings out of 10?
Yeah, it's already halfway to the first golden age. So nicely done here.
Yeah, we also have an Imperial Academy.
Imperial Academy coming up. So yeah, again, most resources for him. You know, woodline in the back, berries in the back, stone is to the right side, so still kind of safe. Doesn't need to immediately drop Barbican, which there's some prime places where he can place the Barbican, but that's probably also like his build for Chinese is to go for a fast Imperial Academy, and then going for the Imperial officials, because he's still not having any Imperial official. No taxes being collected, no supervised buildings. There's immediately the first Imperial official.
Yeah, so he gets his worker count, his villager count very high. Starts getting villagers, Imperial officials pumped out that way. He's already one villager ahead of Kaiser Johan. I have no idea what that's about. But we do see an ecoing.
He shouldn't be ahead technically, because he's not in Song Dynasty yet, and I mean obviously, and so he doesn't have the reduced production time. But yeah, I mean also getting the Imperial officials cheaper. So just, I mean it's a different approach, but definitely so far it worked out in his favor. I am curious if Kaiser Johan forgot to build villagers, because he's behind 2, almost 3 villagers right now. But then again, that's gonna be
one of them is
soon.
Well, I'm sorry, one of them is the Imperial official, so...
Oh right, yeah, of course. Sorry, never mind then.
It's like 1.5 villagers behind.
Yeah, so maybe he skipped it at one point for. Oh yeah, I know why. He went for 2 scouts. That's why. That's why he's behind.
Oh, look at Kaiser Johan unluring the deer for Scatterbrained.
Very nicely done here. Yeah, just pushing them around and making the Barbican a little bit less effective in this area here. But yeah, nice spot for the Barbican for sure here, securing the gold, securing the stone, getting the deer, the berries, and then opening up the woodline as well. At the same time, we have the second town center coming up for Kaiser Johan, so he'll definitely be able to close the villager gap pretty soon. Also, wait, where can I... Where's his golden age? Why don't I see that? Ah, there it is. So he's not currently on the golden age, so he probably should drop a couple more houses soon, just to get to the tier 1 golden age.
He should be very close with this TC, so...
Yeah, with the TC he'll get there, or like almost get there, but right now he's still at 5, now it's at 7. What is the... wait. Oh no, it is there, yeah. Yeah, so 7, that's only like 3 buildings he needs to finish. He should probably add some production buildings soon, because Scatterbrained already going up with 2 archery ranges, so looking like some very aggressive feudal gameplay here with the double archery range. Also now he does have the Song Dynasty, and so his villagers produce in 15 seconds instead of 20, which I feel... I mean, apparently it's all balanced and stuff, but you know, combine the reduced production time with the faster construction building time from the Chinese, and it seems really busted.
It does seem very powerful. If only the Chinese had any good units apart from the SBs, right?
Yeah, I mean the Yuganu are decent in higher numbers, but yeah, they're also not exactly cheap or easy to come by, and once you get on top of them, they fall like flies. And so yeah, there's that. But then again, the palace guards I feel are very strong as well, like super fast units.
Yeah, the palace guards are pretty good. Palace guards are pretty good.
So a couple of Yuganu making it out to the berry patch here, being able to get onto the villagers. So firing away 1 villager down. I think he could have moved in a little bit closer and actually could have gotten 2 or 3 villagers, because Kaiser Johan wasn't aware of the situation here. Also countering with 2 stables here. So Kaiser Johan going on horseman mass, while Scatterbrained already on 12 Yuganu. So that's gonna be an interesting engagement.
Being stable as well, and going ranged damage. Range damage very powerful with Yuganu. Because that's not +1, that's +3.
Yeah, exactly.
Because 3
of
times.
The burst effect, yeah. Yeah, and Kaiser Johan also going for the blacksmith and probably going for iron undermesh pretty soon as well. Because yeah, it's the reverse. It's basically like 3 damage reduced instead of 1 against the Yuganu.
Yeah, extremely powerful. This army from Kaiser Johan starting to look scary, especially considering... Okay, there's 1 horseman, but then the rest is Yuganus. But on 3 ranges and then 1 stable, this is quite terrifying. So Iron Undermesh comes in for Scatterbrained. Well, Scatterbrained is a massive tech advantage. Well, not massive for long, and Scatterbrained starts running away.
Yeah, but I mean, it really comes down to who's gonna find the better angle of attack. So if the horsemen were really close to the Yuganu now, if they can get on top of them, it's gonna be over for the Yuganu. But if he doesn't find a good angle and he gets 1 or 2 volleys in his face before he can actually react to the Yuganu, then it's gonna be difficult for him to maintain the horseman mass. So yeah, curious to see how that's gonna play out, because right now both players are just looking at each other, massing up the army. Kaiser Johan going to the back, trying to get a raid in with the horsemen, but it's under the Barbican, so even if he gets a couple hits in and maybe kills a villager or 2, he'll still lose 1 or 2 horsemen, that's for sure. So one villager getting killed, so 1-1 right now. But yeah, taking a lot of damage. 1 horseman halfway dead, the other one's got a lot of damage as well.
So the wood line is maybe somewhat exposed. That's gonna be about it.
Yeah, he could definitely get a couple of villagers in the wood line if he tries to. But yeah, other than that, the Barbican covering a lot of space here, a lot of resources even.
Does Scatterbrained have a siege engineer? Oh, he's redeeming it now. He's getting all the tax. He's getting all the tax.
I mean, like as I mentioned earlier, that's the classic Chinese all-in feudal aggression, going for the range upgrades, or in general all the blacksmith upgrades, then getting the siege engineering, and then yeah, there's the battering ram coming out as we're speaking. So yeah,
Yeah, but there's a military
41
wing coming up.
Oh my goodness, look at the numbers. 41 Shuganu, there's 31 here in the front. One ram already being constructed. He's missing a little bit of wood right now, but surely he will go for a second ram pretty soon, as if you can afford it. And now we're having a little bit of a clown car action here. Just a massive number of Shuganu. Second battering ram coming up inside the TC range, so he needs to cancel that, but yeah, and I mean, so we're having close to 50 Juganu right now against 6 horsemen. I don't need to do math to know who's gonna win that fight.
Yeah, but upgrades now could be a big deal.
What could be if he has the resources for that. So one villager getting deleted, there's another one, 3 villagers, so a couple villagers dying here from the Chuganu. Yeah, he reached Castle Age and he has a couple of camel archers and riders, but he doesn't really have the resources to get his upgrades. He's getting a veteran upgrade for the archers, which makes sense. He has 12 archers right now, so that's the most important military upgrade for him at the moment, but even 12 veteran archers can't really deal with 50, more than 50 Juganu. But doing a good job here, getting into the supply line here and killing a couple of Juganu before Scatterbrained can figure out what is happening and try to remass his army there. And also went Castle Age with clockwork, astronomical clock tower.
Oh, look at that! More workers getting pulled. Deal with this situation. The army needs to come in and protect the workers. Production is getting destroyed. The Kaiser Johan. I think he's gonna try to mass Golem now. Golem are definitely a good unit. Just
yeah, definitely a good unit, but then again, it's also not very fast. So the Shuganu almost as fast as the Gulams can kite pretty effectively, and then just mow them down and still deal at least 3 damage. So no matter how many range upgrades you get, they still deal 3 damage at least. So.
And that's 4 more workers gone, so we are at 9-1 worker kill count. Kaiser Johan on 2 TC, just 2 TC over.
Well, and a lot of idle villagers now, so he's pulling 10 more to gold again. But he'll not stay there for long because his archers now being in a very bad position to hold that. By the way, I don't think he ever finished the upgrade. He's still having the regular feudal age archers. So Kaiser Johan probably canceled the upgrade to go for the Gulam instead.
Oh, the upgrade range got destroyed.
Oh no, that's why. Yeah. Oh, that is unfortunate.
That hurts.
That really hurts, because now you're still having feudal age units, and the Shuganu already are veteran Shuganu, so I mean, you don't even really need the battering ram here. You can just move in and just kill every villager inside, and you probably win the game by that.
There we go! There's the first mangonel of the day.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
We already saw Springled, and it was very underwhelming. So I'll trust the mangonel a little bit more. It's 80%
I think the
range
mangonel are still fine. The Springles right now I don't think are in a good spot to be used. I mean, their pierce damage is just not enough to really be be scary in any way, and they just deal basically 0 damage to other siege units. So I like the idea in general behind the new Springald, but I think it would be better to have it some like as a hybrid, kind of like between a little bit of anti-siege, but also being anti-melee units or infantry units.
What the hell was that?
Well, that was the mangonel.
Yeah, keyword there was.
Yeah, it had a very short life expectancy against the Shuganu. And that's also something I noticed is that it doesn't really matter that the range damage gets reduced by 80%. That's still 1 damage per volley or like per burst, so it's 3 damage per volley of the Shuganu, and so they just melt it down anyway. And so it kind of feels weird that that the siege get now countered by range units, like archers. So, but yeah, that's the state of the game we're in right now.
Yeah, getting countered by the very units you were designed to counter in the first place.
Yeah, it feels wrong. It really feels wrong, I have to say. But well, I'm sure the devs made a lot of good thoughts about it and why they designed it that way. So we're gonna see how the meta evolves. I mean, we're just being into day 5 of the new patch, and so that's definitely still evolving and developing.
In defense, the devs, it would feel really terrible if you have 51 Zugnus, and 1 Mangonel would be enough to clear all of them.
Yes, and I do agree about that, but at the same time, it's like, well, then you gotta be careful with your units, and not have them run around brain dead into the enemy siege units. But I mean, yeah, I didn't have an issue with the siege as it was, and so to me, the changes feel a little bit strange. But yeah, I'm curious to see how it's gonna evolve in the future. And for now, it's again they're trying to focus the Mangonel getting a lot of damage there. A nice shot here by the Mangonel, so a lot of damage being dealt to the Shuganu, but most of them are still alive. Not a great shot, and only 2 Shuganu are dying here actually. So
they're all so low. Oh, Kaiser Johan, what is it farm? Ah.
Well, I'm gonna try to get onto it, but yeah, the range is not enough. And then again, the range got decreased, so that also feels bad. And yeah, that's how it is here. A lot of crossbows, by the way, added as well. So we have a mix of Shuganu and crossbows here, almost 1-to-1 here. Couple of lancers as well from Scatterbrained. Kaiser Johan was able to mass up a little bit of his archer mass and also getting the veteran upgrades, so that's definitely helpful here. But his main TC is under attack from 2 rams right now, and just so many Shuganu and crossbows in his base here, dealing pretty effectively with everything that he still has standing here. Shuganu getting in the woodline as well, villagers on the run here, and that's just too much for him to deal with.
Damn, what a game.
Wow, what an incredible game. And yeah, the Chinese all-in is still strong in the current patch, that's for sure.
That military count graph is ugly.
Yeah, the military count is really ugly, but then again, you also have to, I mean, yeah, Kaiser Johan was under pressure, but if you look at the villagers, it wasn't even like heavily into Kaiser Johan's favor. So the 1TC Chinese, because of the Song Dynasty, can still compete fairly well with even a 2TC Abbasid, if they don't, let them run free. And so, yeah, really tough game here. Very, very well done by Scatterbrained here, taking the win.